Hi, my name is Lily and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to go through 5 YA books that I think are criminally underhyped and underrated. Now, if you've seen these books elsewhere, I apologise, I'm just going with the ones that I think I haven't seen enough of online. The first book is Finn and Rye and Fireflies by Harry Cook. This book is just so lovely. The story behind this is that Finn is caught kissing a boy, and when his parents find out, they kind of just lose it and they decide to up ship and move to a completely different town in the hopes that a fresh start will make Finn straight. I don't know. They're very homophobic. In this new town, Finn makes some wonderful friends, but he also develops a crush on a boy called Rye. And of course it's going to happen because he is gay. But unfortunately, things start to get back to his parents, and when they find out, they want to send him to conversion therapy. And that's what this book is all about, and it's honestly just a lovely little breath of fresh air because yes, there's a very sad story behind it, but also it's a really sweet story about friendship and love and overcoming discrimination and hate, and I just adored it. It's one that you can just keep reading and reading and reading. It's so lovely. The romance between Finn and Rye is just the sweetest, and the romance between other characters is also really lovely too. The friendships I adored. They are such good, lovely friends. It's just such a good, wholesome book. In the end, like, even though there is obviously some really strong homophobia and conversion therapy, it's a really heartwarming and uplifting story, and it has a really wonderful message. I am really sad this next one didn't get much of a hype because I think it is incredibly beautifully written, and that is The Year After You by Nina de Pass. In The Year After You, Cara is sent to a boarding school in Switzerland up in the mountains in the hopes that she will somehow manage to get over an event that happened recently. You don't really know much about what happened and why Cara is so mentally harmed by it and why she's so mentally unwell, but it slowly unravels throughout the book, and as she makes friends and forms relationships with different people in the boarding school. It is a really tragic and deeply sad story. It really, really is. There are a few trigger warnings that you'll probably need to know about. I can't remember them off the top of my head. The writing of this book is so sensitive, compelling, and just so warm. Even though it's dealing with a really cold location and a cold subject, you can't help but fall in love with these characters and feel sorry for them and want the best for them. And it's so lovely to see Cara gradually coming out of her shell and making friends and starting to realise that if she does talk about what happened and confront it, things will get better. Another one I really wish would get more hype is Viper by Bex Hogan. Not only is this an incredible book, but the author herself is just lovely and marvellous. She's so funny. If you don't follow her on Twitter, she is lovely. Do go and follow her and interact with her. She's amazing. Marianne is the daughter of the current reigning Viper, who is the Viper of the 12 Isles, and the role of the Viper is to protect the 12 Isles and to govern them essentially, and to act as sort of a military force, but there is also a military. It's kind of hard to explain. They're kind of like the Secret Service a little bit. But unfortunately, the Viper and his crew are very, very corrupt, and Marianne is seeing that. And Marianne knows that if she could become the Viper, things would get better. So she wants to try and become the new Viper, I guess. But it's a very difficult process because her dad is brutal as hell. So this book is a swashbuckling pirate adventure. There's a lot of traveling to different places. There's a lot of characters that you're going to fall in love with and characters you're going to hate. It is really, really fun and really great to read. It's a really fast-paced read. You just won't be able to put this book down, and you're gonna love Marianne. She is so badass and so cool, and she has really been training for the day that she can take over as Viper, and you can see how much she wants it. But also there are so many secrets because the two sets of 6 isles have been separated for years. There's a lot of secrecy around the Western Isles and what's going on there, and it's just the way things are revealed is really clever. There's always a cliffhanger ending. There are currently 2 books out in this series. I think there's going to be 3. I think it's a trilogy. And both of them end on the most annoying cliffhangers, but in the best way. It's just, read this book. It's really, really good. I know Juno Dawson books usually do get quite a lot of press, but I do think that Clean did not get as much love as it should. Clean is so, I don't know, how do I describe it? Clean is sad but compelling, and it's a real story of hope and friendship and love and how those relationships are what can make you heal over time. Clean is about Lexi Volkov, who is a wealthy socialite, and she ends up overdosing on drugs and is sent to an exclusive rehab facility, and she thinks she's hit rock bottom. And there she meets a lovely cast of characters who are all recovering from different addictions or different mental illnesses, and they're all coming together to try and work through them and get better. Lexi is at first quite resistant because she was not there willingly, but she makes the most wonderful friends. Some of these characters are just some of the most wonderful people you'll ever read about, and I really just couldn't stop reading because I was really just wanting things to get better for Lexi. I wanted things to get better for all of the other characters who were dealing with their own demons, and it's just, as the blurb says, it's a dirty business getting clean. It's not a straightforward book. There's lots of up and downs as everyone goes through their treatment, and it's just a really good book. I really wish more people would read it. The final book on my list is actually a graphic novel, and it is Bloom by Kevin Panetta and Savannah Ganuccio. Bloom is about two boys, Ari and Hector. Ari's family run a small bakery, and Ari doesn't want to work there. He dreams of moving to the big city and being in a band and becoming famous, whereas Hector is actually a really keen baker and hopes to one day work in a bakery. So the deal Ari makes with his dad is that Hector can come and work for them, and he will train him up in the hopes that one day Ari can leave and go to the city. But of course things are not quite that simple, and these two really start to hit it off. And it's so cute and so wholesome. I love this graphic novel. Like, yeah, you know, Ari's not a great person for a lot of it. He does a lot of bad things and mean things, but it's about growth and about realising that you can't always just put yourself first and you have to think about others. And also it's just a good story about putting yourself first in the right ways, because when Ari tries to blame Hector for things, Hector will not stand for it and will say, like, this is not a me problem, this is a you problem. And I really like that. I think it's a really, really great message. Sorry, it's really heavy. It's also just a really beautifully drawn book. It's all like in a blue, it's all in a blue hue. It's lovely. It reminds me a lot of Heartstopper by Alice Oseman, so if you really liked Heartstopper, I would highly recommend this graphic novel. Okay, so those are the 5 YA books that I think are criminally underrated and underhyped. I really hope that this video encourages you to check one of them out, or some other underrated or underhyped books that you are thinking about. If you have read them, please do let me know down in the comments, let me know what you thought of them. If you like this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing to see more from me. All of my social media links are down in the description below. Thank you for watching. Bye!